Good evening. My name is Alan. I want to welcome us to day 13 of the 180 Bible journey. Tonight, we ask that God will give us insight and revelation knowledge as we go over the scriptures. Today, we are looking at Genesis chapter 43 to 46, Psalms 13, and Matthew 16 to 17. We'll start off with Genesis 43, where we saw the sons of Jacob going back to Egypt. This time they are going with their youngest. We're going with Benjamin. And when they got there, uh, Joseph brought them to his house to eat with them. So he was so elated. He was so delighted to see Benjamin and to see all of them. He started feeling, having feeling for them. It was never, it wasn't recorded that he lost any anger or revenge motive in his heart, because the key thing was that Joseph saw the big picture. It's good to always see the big picture in every situation. Genesis chapter 44. Before they left, Joseph resorted to playing mind games with his brother by putting his cup in the Benjamin's bag. And because of that, they found the cup in his bag and they brought them back to Joseph's house. And Judah was pleading because Joseph has said, whoever's bag is in has the cup will be his servant. And so Judah pleaded with Joseph that, hey, I made a deal with my father that I'm going to bring this boy back. But because if he doesn't go back, it might lead to Jacob dying of a heart attack. And so he let him know that. It's going to be very painful for that. Genesis 45, we saw in the midst of that event, Joseph finally revealed himself to his brothers and told them all the plan of God, how God planned everything to work. That's why I've said it's always important to see the big picture in any situation you are, in any either adversity that you are in, you are disadvantaged. There is a big picture. There is something God is playing behind the scene. We just need to see it. And so the brothers were shocked at the revelation. They didn't really know how to, approach him, because they felt they were regretting selling him. But hey, Joseph was telling him God was trying to preserve the family. And so Joseph later informed Pharaoh that his brothers are here, and then told them with Pharaoh also to go bring their brothers, their father, their wives, and their children to come live in Egypt, in Goshen. Now, we must always ask God to help us understand our seasons, the seasons of adversity, pain that we are in. We just ask God for Him to help us to understand what we're going through, whatever we're going through. In Genesis chapter 46, we saw God appearing to Jacob in a vision and telling him to go to Egypt and promising him to take care of him. And we saw here that the whole family of Jacob, they were like 70 souls that left for Egypt, and they came and they dwell in the land of Goshen. That's Genesis 46. In Psalm 13, David was inquiring from the Lord how long it would take God to deal with his enemies. He said he would trust in God's mercy and rejoice in his salvation. Genesis and then and Psalms, and then now we are in Matthew chapter 16. The Sadducees and the Pharisees, they came to Jesus asking him for a sign, trying like, okay, you are doing all this miracle, okay, give us a sign from heaven. And Jesus rebuked them and said, you ain't going to have any sign. I mean, all the signs have been there, but you're missing it. So there's no other signs I'm going to show you. And he told the disciples to be careful of the traditions, of the way, the mannerisms of the Pharisees and of the scribes. And then Jesus later asked his disciples about his identity. Who do you say that I am? They were saying you were Elijah. Some says you are the prophet, and some say, well, and Peter was inspired by the Holy Ghost and said Jesus is the Son of God. He is Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus now said that upon that revelation, he's going to build the church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it, and that he will give us the keys of the kingdom. And he also mentioned about we taking up our cross to follow him, meaning there are some cost associated with being a follower of Jesus. There are some costs you're going to bear. So we move into Matthew chapter 17, where Jesus was transfigured. And in that transfiguration, in that transformation, the disciples saw John, Peter, and James, the three of them that followed him to that mountain. They saw Elijah, they saw Moses appeared with him, and they saw a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased, hear ye him." Now, the disciples later on, they couldn't heal an epileptic son of a man. And so the father was so disappointed that he had to bring him to Jesus to heal. And Jesus started rebuking the disciples that, hey, I've been long enough with you people. You guys should know how to do these things. And then he later delivered the boy from, he rebuked the demon that was causing that epilepsy. And then the boy was made whole. And then he further rebuked the disciples for their unbelief. He told them that if you have faith as a mustard seed, that faith can still move mountain, meaning that your faith, no matter how large or is the quality that matters, your faith can still produce result. Later on, we saw Jesus paying taxes. Jesus is a real complete man. Now, the key thing in this Matthew 17 is that faith must produce result. And our memory verse for today is in Matthew 16:18, where Jesus spoke. He said, "Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it." I believe everything God has built, God is building for us, the enemy will not be able to prevail against it. So that's it for today. Thank you. I'm going to see you tomorrow, day 14, and we'll bless you for tuning in tonight. Thank you, and God bless you.